Hello friends, welcome to this video tutorial. This video is for those people who want to learn how to use Unity and they want to write their first program unit using Unity framework, and they never ever use Unity framework in their life, and the first time they want to use it. So this video is for beginners. So I'm assuming that you've already installed this Unity framework in your system. So to write your first program using Unity framework, first of all you have to create a project. So I'm advising you, when you are creating your first project, please select the project type 2D core. So the 2D in Unity you can create a project. You will see a lot of options like 3D, 2D, and VR. So there are various type of projects you can create. So 2D is most basic. So if you are beginners, then you should start with the 2D project. So create a 2D project. So once you have created your project, when you open your project, you will see this screen, and you'll find a lot of tabs in your screen, like hierarchy tab, inspector tab, project tab, console tab, and scene tab, game tab. So let me just give them a number. So the first tab is hierarchy tab, second tab is inspector tab, the third tab is project tab, fourth tab is your console tab, the fifth tab is scene tab, and the last sixth tab is game tab. So among these six tabs, three tabs is very important, and you must know about them. You will be using them a lot. So the first one, tab, hierarchy tab, is important. The second, inspector tab, is also important. The project tab is less important. Same. Fourth tab, console tab. The fifth one, scene tab, is important. So these three tabs are important. So let me give you the overview about these tabs. So first tab is hierarchy tab. So this tab is actually display the hierarchy of two things: scene and game object. So what is scene? Scene is your game scene, and your game scene may contain multiple objects. Like you see that you open a game of a snake. So in your scene you may have multiple object, like this is your scene, and it has an object snake, and it has also object worm. So like that. In hierarchy tab, it display the hierarchy of scene and game object. Scene may contain multiple game object. Okay. The second tab is inspector tab. So our game object may contain multiple components. Actually, game objects are made of multiple components. So we can add or remove components in game object. We can also change the properties of these components by using this inspector tab. So this inspector tab is actually used to change or to alter the components of game object. So if we look here in our hierarchy tab, we can see this. This is our game scene. The game scene name is sample scene, and this scene contain only one object, whose object name is main camera. And if I select this main camera, I will see the components right here in this inspector tab. And in this inspector tab, I can add more component to this main camera object, or I can remove the existing component, or I can change the property of existing component. So hierarchy tab, inspector tab. Next is your project tab. Project tab is like file manager to access the file folder and files of your project. The fourth one is the console. It gives you the information when you run the project on console. The fifth one is important one, is the scene tab. So I've already told you the scene may contain multiple game objects. So this tab is actually visualize your scene objects. For example, we have selected this sample scene, and sample scene contain only this one main camera object. So I can see the main camera. This square is the main camera. You can see visually, we can see in this scene tab the objects of that scene. And if I add more object to this scene, like I added game object 1, game object 2 here in this scene, so I can once I added these objects, I can visually see here of the new objects, and through this scene I can also interact with these objects. Like I can change the position of the object, or I can change the size. I can rotate the object through these options. So this scene is actually visualize your game objects of the scene, and you can also interact with these objects directly through this scene tab. Now the last one tab is your this one is game tab, is actually output. If when you run your project, you see the output inside this game tab, how your games look like. So these are the information about various tab and you find in Unity. I hope you understand about them, and in the next video I will be explaining you in more details